Okay, let's start the session. So the HTML basics. So the first thing is, what is HTML? So in what is HTML actually? Hypertext text markup language. So we are using HTML to create the structure of web pages. And the thing is, employs a system of markup tags to describe the page content. So that is the thing in the HTML. So here we have the definition. HTML, hypertext markup language, is a standard markup language used to create the structure of web pages. It employs a system of markup tags to describe the content on a page, enabling browsers to interpret and display the information. So that is the definition. So if we see the purpose of the HTML, actually that is fundamental building block of web development. And it allows organize information, create links, embedded multimedia elements, then forming the backbone of the websites. So that is the purpose of HTML. So here, an example of HTML document. So in the very first line, we can see the declaration, then the root element. In here, this is the in this tag, we are containing meta information about the HTML doc, like title. So in the body, we are enclosing the content of HTML page, and here we have the heading and the paragraph. So we will talk about these things later. So if we see the structure of the HTML document, mainly we have three things: tags, elements, and the attributes. So if we talk about the tags actually we are using to define elements. So tags we are giving with two angle brackets. So like this. So the next thing is the elements. So the elements, it's actually with the opening tag, content, and the closing tag. It looks like this. This is the opening tag, and here we have the content. So this is the closing tag. So this is how you can give the closing tag. So this whole thing we call it as element. So the next thing is the attributes. So attributes, actually we are providing additional information about the element. So that means here you can see the example in this A tag. This is called anchor tag. Within that, here we have the href. So here we are giving additional information about this anchor tag. Here we are giving additional information. This is called attribute. So these are the three main things in HTML document: tags, elements, and the attributes. How tags define the structure of a web page. So HTML tags create the structure of web page by defining various elements like headings, paragraphs, lists, and more. So understanding how to use tags is crucial for organizing content. So actually, within the structure of the web page, we are using HTML tags. So we are using HTML tags to define various elements like headings, paragraph, and so on. So the next thing, here we have an exercise. So identify and create a few HTML elements using different tags. Okay, let's see what are those. So asking here headings, paragraphs, and links. Okay, let's see. Here, heading. This is how you can give a heading. This is H1. This is the heading 1. So then we can have heading 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 with the range of headings. So here we used H1. So here it will show the message. This is the heading 1 once we give this line. Then this is how we can give the paragraph. P. This is the tag. Here we have the closing tag. And within that, you can see we have used EM and the strong. Strong in a sense that is bold. That means this one. Strong word will be bold. And this is emphasized. This one will be italic. Okay. Then in here, the unordered list. So this is how you can give the unordered list like this. Here within that we have used list tag also. This is unordered list. Then for the ordered list, this is the web. Here also we are using list tag. And for the link, it will look like this. We are using anchor tag. This is called anchor tag. And here we have an attribute. This is the message we are showing. And the next thing is image. For the image, also here we have a separate tag called img. Then we are giving the path of the image, and here we have the alternative. Okay. That means if the page, if the image is not visible, or if an errors with the image, it will show this message. Okay. Right. So the next thing, here introduce the HTML5 doc type declaration. So within the HTML document, normally we are giving this line, this one. So we are giving this. So because we need to give the version of the HTML we are using for this HTML document. So once we give that declaration, that means which version we are going to use in the HTML. Actually, we are doing is we are informing that version to the browser. Then it will know what version we are using in this HTML document, in this web page. So actually HTML5 is the simplified and standardized way to declare the document tag. So this is the way, doc type HTML. And here, so the next thing, these three tags essential in the web document: HTML, head, and the body. Within the HTML, what we are doing is, so the HTML is a root element. It will wrap up the entire HTML content. In the head tag, it will contain the meta information like title. So if we see the example, let me show you. Here, within the head tag, we have given title tag. So this is the head tag actually. We are giving the meta information about the web page using head tag. That is the usage of head. Then the body tag means we are giving the entire content of the web page. That means visible content within the body tag. So here an example again. This is the title, then content will be in the body tag. Okay, let's create our first HTML page. So first of all, we need a text editor. So you can use Notepad, then Notepad++, Visual Studio Code to create a new file. And the other thing is, once we type the code, you need to save it in the HTML extension. Okay. Yes, before that, let's create the HTML file first. Okay. Yeah. First, you need to create a new folder called lecture 2 within your desktop. Okay, so here it is. So now we are going to create these exercise files, that means HTML files within this folder. So before that, in here, in this lecture, I'm going to use this Notepad++. So simply you can browse it and you can download the Notepad++. So you need to go to the downloads and you can download the version you want. Okay, so I already downloaded it and installed it. So here it is. So I'm going to open it. So here it will show like this. So the very first thing when we are using Notepad++, since we are creating HTML, here you have the option called language. So you need to click on it, and here in the edge we have the HTML. So simply go through with it. So then once we are typing the code, if we are using any HTML tags or predefined things, it will show when we are typing. Okay, so let's see. All right, so let's see. Let's see the question first. Here it is. We need to create a basic HTML file with the doc type declaration, then the HTML head and the body elements. So that is the thing we need to do. Okay, let's do it. So in here, we need to type the code. Type HTML, then the HTML head tag, and within the title, my first HTML page. Head, closing tag, then body opening tag. Within that, we can give a heading. It's a hello world. Then a paragraph. It's a basic HTML page. Closing paragraph tag. Closing body tag. Closing HTML. Here it is. So this is the code. So we need to save this file. So here you have the option called save, or else you can go with the file and save as, and you can give the path you want to save it and the name, or else you can use Control S or Control Alt S. So those kind of things. So here I'm simply use this option. Then you need to select your location you want to save it. Here desktop lecture 2. Need to give the name. So here I'm giving ex1. Since the extension is HTML, hypertext markup language, I don't need to select it because we changed the language. So that's why this Notepad++ is very easy. All right, if we see that, you can see this file, ex1, exercise 1, HTML file. All right, now we typed it. Here, this is the code. So the next thing is we need to open the HTML file in the web browser and let's do the live rendering. Let's do that also. So you can open this one. Once you open it, you will see this like this, hello world, and here the paragraph 4. This is a basic HTML page. So let's do some changes. So here I'm giving these things and save it. Control S. And you will see once you refresh it, the changes. All right. Okay, the next thing. All right. Exercise 2. So the exercise 2, create your own HTML file including a heading, paragraph, and a link, and open the file in the browser to see the results. Okay, let's do that one also. I'm closing this one. Here I'm going to create a new file. So with that, let's type the code. So the very first thing is we need to do the declaration, the doc type HTML, then the HTML. So within this opening HTML, I'm giving this attribute called lamp equal en. So this line means specifying the language of the document. So here I'm giving the language of the document, which is English. That's why we are giving en. Okay. And I forgot to give the language in this document. So we need to give that one so that will be easier to type. Here, language option HTML. All right. Okay, the next thing is head tag for the metadata. Let's give the title. First, first HTML page, closing title tag, closing head tag, then opening body tag, then heading, let's say, welcome to my CPT website, closing heading, then let's give a paragraph also. This is a simple HTML page with a heading, paragraph, and closing paragraph tag. Then we need to give the link. So if you want, you can give the link within the paragraph, or else you can just give the link. So let's give a paragraph. Within that, we can give a link. So here I'm giving the paragraph opening tag. Let's say checkout. Then within that, let's give the anchor tag. So to give the link, we can use A. That means anchor tag. Here it is. Let's say ICBT. Okay. And the closing tag. So here we can't just give like this. We need to give the link for that website also. Let's see the ICBT website. Yes. And to give that link, we need to use href. This is the attribute to give that. So within quotation, you need to give the link. Here it is. Then I'm giving another attribute called target. So once you give this target one, here I'm giving underscore blank. This attribute means we are going to open the website in a new actually in a new tab. All right, okay. Once you click on this link, it will open a new tab and show it. If we didn't give this one, it will open in the current tab. All right. Yeah, the next thing we need to close the body tab as well as HTML tab. Like this. So we need to save this one as well. Here I'm giving ex2. Let's see the output. Okay, so here this is our site. So once you click on this link, it will open the ICVD website in a new tab. All right. So that's the thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that is exercise 2. We have done this part. Then the next one, HTML document structure. So head section. So the head section, what is the importance of the head section in the HTML? So actually within the head section, that means within the head tag, we are giving our metadata and the information. We are giving the metadata. So this metadata within that things we are giving in the head section will not appear on the page indirectly. So maybe the title will appear, but within the whole page, it will not appear in the page, but it will help for the browse and the search engine. So we are giving some kind of things that within the head section as metadata and the information that will help for the browser and the search engines. All right. So here, importance of the head section in the HTML. So the head section contains metadata and information about the HTML document that doesn't directly appear on the page, but it is crucial for browsers and search engines. All right. So that is head section. So within that head section, we are giving some things. We are giving title. Let's see it. Title, meta, and the link. Let's see what are those. So title means actually we are displaying the title of the website within the browser's title bar on the tab. So that means we are setting the title of the HTML document. That is title tag. Then the meta tag we are using to give the character set, then the viewpoint. So the character set, in the sense, we are giving the character encoding for the document. So that means we are giving the capable of all characters or specific characters. So those kind of things, it's about the character set we are giving within the meta tag. Then viewpoint settings, in the sense, what is the viewpoint width? What is the zoom level? Then we are giving the permission for various devices with various screen sizes. So we are giving the responsive web page. So those kind of metadata we are giving within the meta tag. And the next thing is link. So using the link tag, we are giving the relationships between current document, that means the current HTML document, with external resources like style sheets. So if we want to style our website, we can use style sheets separately. So to link those, to give the relationship of the style sheet and the website, we can use the link tag. All right. So here an example of the head section. Here we have the title. Here called my HTML page. Then we have the char set UTF-8. UTF-8, in the sense, we are giving the capable of representing all possible characters. That's why we are giving UTF-8. Then here we have the meta. So the thing is the viewpoint. We're giving the name viewpoint. Here, we're giving the viewpoint width as the device width and initial zoom into 1 point. So initial zoom level into 1. Initial scale. So this is the thing. So we are giving these things, actually, the width and the scale, because we need to make our page responsive. That's why we are giving that. So once we give these things, our web page will display properly on various devices with different screen sizes. So that's why we are giving this line. Okay. The next thing is link. Here we are going to link this styles.css file, our style sheet, to this current document. This rel means we are giving what is the relationship. Actually, we are going to give the style sheet. So that's why we are giving rel, that is style sheet. Then here we give the link. That means we need to give the path of the style sheet with the name. All right. So this is the head section. Okay. Here you have things I have already told you. HTML, in the sense we're defining the title of the HTML document. Then the meta char set means we are giving the capable of representing all possible characters. Then viewpoint, in the sense we are making a web page responsive with the zoom level and the width to get our web page into various devices with different screen sizes. And we are using the link tag to give the relationship between the external resources with the current document. So that is the head section. All right. Okay, let's do an exercise. We need to create an HTML document with the title, set character encoding, and link an external style sheet. So we need to create a file called styles.css in the same directory. That means in our same folder as in our folder. That means which we create our HTML file. All right, let's do it. Don't need this. First, let's create the CSS file. Here I'm going to change the language into CSS. Here it is. All right, let's save it. Yeah. I'm going to give as styles dot css. We already give the type as css, so we do need to give that just the file name. That's it. All right, so here it is. If you see the folder, you can see the styles, but we didn't use that yet. All right, let's create another one. So let's give first the declaration. Yeah, we need to change the language into HTML. Let's type HTML. Then HTML, I'm giving the language. Within that head, within the head tag, I'm giving title. Stylish page with closing title tag. Then meta tag. First the character set, char set equals to, within quotation UTF -8. And the next one, meta name, waypoint, then content, with device equal, with equal device with, device then initial scale equal to 1. Then the link equals style sheet href styles dot css. Whereas you can give the whole path, since we didn't give any styles within the CSS file, you can just give this. This is how you can give it. Closing the head tag, then the body tag. Heading. Paragraph. closing HTML. All right, so save this file. X3 HTML. Let's see. Here we have the title called My Stylish page and the other things. All right. Okay, the next one. Okay, the body section. Within the body section, we can give text tags, then the list we can give, then hyperlinks. So those kind of things we can give it, give in the body section. So if we see the text tags, text formatting tags, here, this is the things we can give as headings with different levels, H1, H2, H3, like that. Then the paragraph, we can give like this. Then for the bold, strong, italic, for E. Then the list structures. Here, this is one. UL means unordered list, right? Here it is. Then OL, ordered list. That means with a specific order, like 1, 2, 3. Then list tag means we're using this list item, list tag within these two lists, unordered or ordered. All right. Then for the hyperlinks, so we already used it, anchor tag, a element, to create hyperlinks. It can link to other web pages or a file or a location within the same page. So simply you can go through with it. Okay. So we used link tag to give the relationship between that CSS file and the HTML. But here we are giving the link to open the web page or a file or a location within the same page. If you want to open it in another tab, you can give the target attribute, or else you can remove it. Okay. Here an example with the heading paragraph. Here we have the H2, then the unordered list, then a paragraph with an anchor tag. All right. Here we have an exercise. Create a page with headings, paragraph, and the list. Then add a hyperlink to an external website. Okay, let's quickly do that one as well. Let's create a new file. We can just copy the whole thing. Copy it and paste it. Change in the language. So let's give some changes. Let's say my web page has the title. Then welcome to my web page. Then this is the HTML page with headings, paragraphs, and a list. Then I'm giving another H2. Then the heading 2. After that, I'm giving a paragraph. Another paragraph of text. It can contain. I'm using EM. Emphasize. Or strong tag. Using paragraph tag. Let's give one ordered list. And paragraphs, hyperlinks also. Right. So next thing, I'm giving the hyperlinks within the paragraph. Check out this. Let's give the anchor tag. Sure. You can give it. Good. And external website. Closing the paragraph also. Yeah, we need to give the name. So let's save it. EX4. Let's open it and see. Did I give okay, EX4. All right, here we have the title, my web page, then the heading, welcome to my web page, then a paragraph, another heading. You can see the font size changed. And here, italic, bold text, then unordered list. And once we click on this, it will open this external website. All right, so that is exercise 4. To the next one, let's see. Images and multimedia. So if we talk about the images and multimedia, we can display images, then we can give multimedia elements like audio, video within our web page. So for that one, we have separate tags we can use. For the image, we can use img, then for the audio, we have audio tag, then for the video, we have video tag. Okay, let's see the images first. So using img element is used to embed images in an HTML document, and it requires src attribute to specify the image source. That means in which location we have the image, also we need to give the location. If we have our image within the folder, we don't need to give the exact path, just we can give the name with the extension. So here it is. You can use src attribute. You need to give the source. Then alt means, that means alt means if we can't open up the image, or else we have any issues with the image, we can just give this message as description of the image. Okay. So the next thing here, using audio, we can give the audio content. The video, we can give the video content. So here an example how we can give audio and the video. When we are giving the audio, we need to give these controls attribute as well. So within that, we need to use source tag. For this, we need to give the src where we have the mp3 and the type audio / mp3, or else you can give wave or likewise any audio which you have. Then this message, or else it will show this message. And the next thing here for the video, you need to give the width and the height, and like in the audio, you need to give the source and the time. Okay. Yes. Then here asking add an image, then audio or a video. Let's do all three things and let's give the attributes as well. All right, let's do it. So in here, let's create another file and let's change the language into HTML. So here, let's give the things up to this. Let's copy it and paste it. And within the body tag, we need to give the image and the audio and the video. The closing HTML tag. So within the body tag, we can give our content. So first, let's give the image. Image. So this is actually how we can give the comments. So these things will not include as a code. It will not need any effect for the code, just a comment. Okay. Here we need to give the image. Let's say img src equals. So we need, within the quotation, we need to give the link or the name, then alt, alter. So example image. And let's give the width. It's 300. Then the height. is 400, and I'm giving a title as well. Image type. Right. Then for the audio, here I'm giving a comment for audio. Then audio tag. It controls source src. Need to give then the type overview slash mp3. I'm giving this message browse. It is not support audio element. Then closing audio tab. Then video. Source. Need to give src type video slash mp4. Your browser is not support video element. So we need to give these things. So I have sample things, image, mp3 and a video. I'm going to copy these things and paste in our folder. All right, we have these things, so we can use those. So the image name is flower and .jpg. Then audio is sample from mp3 and video ocean.mp4. Here it is. We can save this file as ex5 and let's see. Here it is. So here's the image. Here the mp3 and here we have the ocean. All right. Okay, this is how you can give those multimedia elements. The next thing, here you have the code. HTML forms. What is forms? So the forms, in a sense, we are collecting some user inputs and we are doing some submission or something like that. We are asking to enter things and it's creating some selections, making selections, and we are submitting information. So that is the forms. So in HTML forms also, we are doing like that. So if we see the concept, HTML forms are a way to collect user input on a web page. Then we are enabling the users to interact with the website by entering data, making selections and submitting it, right? The role in user interaction forms facilitate communication between the user and the website, allowing user to submit it, log in, or make purchase and more things, right? Then here the example how we can give the form. Here it is, form opening tag and the closing tag. Within that we can give the form elements. Here let's talk about the form elements. If you see the form elements, these are the things we are using form tag. So to wrap up all the form elements, that means we are defining the start and the end of the form. Then using the input, we are giving, we are representing various input types like text, password, checkbox, radio, those kind of things. Then using the text area, we are creating multi-line text input fields. Then for the select, if we want to give a drop down, we can use select text. Okay. Here it is. Within the input, we can give some types. We can use either text, password, checkbox, radio, or else a submit button. We can use these things. So once we are giving the exercises, we will learn about these things. All right, here an example. Here this is the starting of the form tag. Then we are using label. Using label. Here we are using this label for username. We can give this for attribute. Then here the label username with a colon, then the closing label tag. Then input tag. So in here we don't have any, we call a closing tag. We just need to give the only the opening tag. So within that you can give the type. We need to give the type actually when you are giving the input. So here the type is text. So in this input, we just only need to give the text. So here the ID, you can specify the ID and here the name. Then I'm creating another label called password and here another input box. The type is password. So once we give the type as password, when we are typing things, it will not directly appear. Because normally when we are typing password, it is encrypted. We can't see it when we are typing it. So here also, when we are giving the type as password, it will look like that. So once we're giving those, you will learn. So this required thing, I will tell you later because that is a main thing. Then the message. So for message, here I'm using another label. Then the other thing is text area. So in the text area, I'm giving number of rows and the columns. So that means we're giving text area size. Okay. Here also I'm giving ID and the name. So these things, ID, name, those kind of things will be useful when we are styling our website. Okay. Here, drop down. So here we are giving another label called gender. Then select. Within the select, we need to use option. So the ID is gender, then the name gender. So here it will give like this, male, female, the other. So these are the values, right? So this is the things we can see in outside, but inside we have these things, okay, with the simple letters. So once we are doing validations, those kind of things, you will know about these things. That means our JavaScript. So those kind of things, within that you will learn why we are giving values. So like that. Then we have a button called submit. So the value is submit and the type is submit. That means we are going to submit this form. All right. Okay, here we have an exercise. We need to create a simple form structure with a text input and a submit button, including check boxes and the drop down. Let's do that. Okay. Seems no. I'm going to close all this. All right. Another thing, if we are giving other than, that means in a different location, you need to give the path. So that means just you can copy this path of the folder and you can simply paste it in here. Guide it. See? Here you need to copy the path. Here you need to give it with a slash. Like this you need to give if you are giving the path. All right. Create another file. Let's change the language to HTML. We need to create a form. So here also I'm going to copy this because we need this. Paste it. So with the title you can give anything. Let's say my phone. All right. Okay. So within the body tag, that means we are going to give the content of the web page. Closing tag as well. So first thing is we need to give the form tag like this. Then I'm going to give a label. Call name. Here I'm giving the for attribute. Then input. So the type I'm giving as text. Then the ID, its name as name. Then I'm giving a placeholder. So that means within the input box, it will show up in the gray color. You need to type the name or whatever. You can just give that message within the placeholder. So let's say your name. Okay. All right. So that is the input box for the name. Here I'm giving break tag. I'm going to do the break. Then another label for label, let's say interest. Closing label. Here I'm giving checkbox. Let's see. Input. Here the type should be checkbox. Then ID. This one. Name. So when we are giving the checkbox over the radio, the name should be same in the all checkboxes. If it is a group, okay? So I will show you those things once we're doing some exercises. So here I am giving the name as interest. Otherwise it will not a group. Value. Here I'm giving label for that checkbox. Earlier we gave the label for the group, checkbox group. All right, I'm going to copy this one. Paste in here and here. So the type is same. I'm going to change this one to interest to same name. In the coding, I'm going to give us this sign. Interest to this sign. Then the third one, interest 3 is I'm giving music. 3. Here goes music. All right. Okay. Then another break. Now let's give a drop down. So for that one, I'm giving the label for gender. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Then we need to give the select ID gender. So gender. Then within the select tag, we need to give options. That means the drop down. Option, first one, giving new. You copy this. Is female. In the closing select that. another break. Here I'm giving text area. So first of all, label message. Here I'm using text area tag. Within that ID is message, name also message, placeholder, your message. Here I'm giving close closing text area. Then another break. I'm giving submit button. Again, input type. I'm going to give a submit. Then the value. So the next thing is we need to close the form. Body and the HTML. Right. Let's save it. CX6 and let's see. Here it is. We can see the placeholder called your name, your message, right? We just click and type anything here. We can check these check boxes, and here we have a drop down. Then you can give a message with the multiple lines, this, and here you can submit it, right? So this is submit button, then it will clear all, right? So that is a simple form, okay? So the next thing is form attributes, okay? Form attributes, we can give like this, action method, then enc type, encrypted type. So the action means we are specifying the URL to which the form data will be submitted. So that means in where should we need to submit, right? Once we are doing some exercises, you will learn these things. In the method, we are defining the HTTP method, whether it is get or post. All right. Then encrypted, we are specifying how the form data should be encoded. Here we have an example called multi-part form data. Okay. Yes. Here the example, it will look like this. Within the form tag, form opening tag, you need to give the action, method, and the encrypt. All right. Okay. Then here asking modify the form by specifying any action URL, method, and encrypted type based on understanding of these attributes. Okay, let's do that. First of all, I'm going to create a new file, language into HTML. And here I'm going to copy the whole thing and paste here. Within the form opening tag, here I'm giving the action form submit form Actually, we are giving the URL. Once we submit this form, where should we go? What should we do? Right? So here the action. Then method. Here I'm giving post. And encrypted type. I'm giving multi-part slash foundation. So this is how you can give the action, method, and the encrypt type. Okay. Yes. Let's save this file. EX7. Here it is. Let's data. Which is once you submit. Since we don't have such a URL, it will look like this. Okay, you will get an error message. Otherwise, it will go to a different URL or it will do something else. Since we don't have such a thing, it will say file not found. Okay. All right. So the next one. Here the code, we already done that one. Form validation. So the form validation required attribute for mandatory fields. So if we need to fill some fields mandatory, that means before submitting the form, if we need such a field, we can give required attribute. That means if we didn't fill that element or a field, it will not submit. That means if you see when we are filling out some forms in like in the websites or something, it will show like you need to fill this one. Otherwise, you can't go forward or likewise that. Okay, you need to give the required attribute if you want to fill that field when we are submitting the form. Okay, so it will look like this. So the simple thing is you need to give this required word within the opening tag. Right? So the pattern attribute for custom input validation. So if we want to give a specific pattern, specific regular expression to input, you can just give the pattern attribute. It look like this. So if you want to give a zip code like this, you can just give the pattern. It should be like 5 digits. Okay, 5-digit zip code. It's also required, right? Okay, here an example. Enhance the form by adding the required attribute to some fields and using the pattern attribute for custom validation. So that's the thing we need to do. Right. Let's see. Here also, I'm going to copy this exercise 7 and paste in another file. The language is HTML. Okay, so in here, what we need to do is we need to include required attribute. Let's do that one first. Here we need to give required we can just give the required word for the checkbox because otherwise it will not selection. So we can give it in the text area also. All right, so that is required one. Then we can give a pattern also. So for that, I will give a pattern within the name input. Here I'm giving the pattern. This is how I can give. So the pattern will be, that means in the name, it should include either capital letters or simple letters. That means we can't include any numbers. All right, so that is the pattern. Okay. If you want, we can give a title. Only alphabets and spaces. Yeah, if we want to give the spaces also, we need to give \s. Okay, otherwise we can't give spaces within the name. Spaces. Okay, so this is the title for the input. All right, here it is, the pattern. In this exercise, I will give another thing called input called file also. That means we can give a file attachment. So let's say label for attachment. Here input, the type should be file, and the ID, attachment, name, so attachment. Here I'm giving as required field. Okay. Let's save it. EX8. You can give images, audio, videos, those kind of things in here also. Okay. Let's save it and see. Yeah. This. We can choose a file. Let's say I'm going to choose image. All right. Then I can submit. It will go to this one. Since we don't have this, it will do such a thing. Or else we can give like this also. Let's give this link. I'm going to copy this as the action. I'm giving this one. Let's see it will work. Once we submit it, this one will appear. Okay. Thus we get that link as the action. Once we submit it, it will go to this. So let's see the validations. So if we didn't give this name, what will happen? Let's say it says, please fill out this form field, right? So if we give numbers as the name, it will show, please match the requested format. Only alphabets and space are allowed, right? If we go to the text box and you can see that title, right? So if we didn't give the text area and submit it, let's give the correct pattern. Here, please fill out. And if we didn't give any files, it will say, please select a file. Likewise, that is a validation actually, right? It will go to the icbt.lk. Yeah, actually that's basic of HTML. So you can practice these things at home, okay? And make sure to try these things. And in the next session, let's do some CSS sessions, styling part with some HTML exercise as well. Please bring laptops as well. Okay, thank you.